There are few things in life that brings as much freedom as a bicycle. When I was a kid and I got my first bike, the neighborhood became a playground of endless possibilities, each time exploring one street further, always wondering what was around the next corner. Now as an adult, I live in a big city, and every now and then I get to escape on a bike-packing trip. Riding through the hustle and the bustle of peak hour traffic as you make your way out of the city, feeling its clutches clawing me back into its towers of cement and metal, refusing to let me go. Eventually though, I penetrate that wall of grey and black and find myself free from responsibilities, from deadlines and from expectations. Now it's just me, my bicycle, and that kid-like wondering what is around the next corner.
The tiptoes on the bedroom floor, these quiet eyes are spinning in the dark. A secret wish that none will know, she keeps it locked up in her pale heart. Wait for it, it's tired and it's true. Wait for it, it's all she ever knew.
Hi, my name is Trew-Browne, and this is a little bit of a story of my life growing up with a bipolar dad. As a kid, I had two dads. On the one hand, I had the dad that every kid dreams about. The dad that takes you, hiking in the mountains, adventuring, camping, fishing. He instilled a passion for adventure in me from a very young age. We lived in Johannesburg when I was growing up, and almost every weekend we'd load up his old Land Rover and we would drive out to Delstrom, and go fly fishing and trout fishing at the dams there. We would take no food, kind of just whatever we caught in the dams, that would be our supper. And at night he would teach me about the stars and how to navigate, with the stars, and teach me how to make fire, and really just to survive and to be comfortable when you're uncomfortable. So as I got older, he kind of grew more distant and started to change. His personality changed a lot, and he got involved with crowds where he maybe shouldn't have got involved in, and started abusing some substances quite heavily. And at the time we didn't know that he was maybe manic depressive or bipolar 1 disorder. In those days there wasn't much information about it. It wasn't actually fully understood yet, I don't think. We just assumed that he was a boisterous, loud, crazy guy. Everybody knows Bullet is this crazy guy. And so him and I grew apart, and as his disorder kind of deteriorated more and more, he became more aggressive and more manic, and as a son I kind of had the memories of being young and having this rad dad and doing all these crazy things with, and then all of a sudden my dad was never there. He wasn't around, and if he was around, he was recovering from a hangover on the couch, and so I started to kind of resent him and have a lot of anger as I got older. And when I was old enough to move out, kind of left the house, and we stopped talking. For about 4 or 5 years I didn't talk to him. And in this time he had kind of had been diagnosed and got onto medication and be not as stable as obviously what could be done, but you know, he was mildly stable. And he kind of started to realize how the disorder had affected him over the years, and how it had affected those around him, his family and his friends, and he started to reach out and to try and make amends, you know, with everyone. And yeah, so he tried for a good year, or about a couple of months, a year, to reconnect, and I just wasn't really having it. I couldn't put myself, you know, in that emotional roller coaster, if I could say it like that. I got to researching it more and just trying to understand the disorder better and understand my dad a bit better, and I got to the point where I kind of realized that I couldn't really expect anything from him. I couldn't expect him to be, you know, the dad that I wanted him to be. I had this expectation of a dad that I wanted, you know, and I realized actually that maybe in this situation it's a bit selfish. I was putting this really high expectation of him, and I got to the point where it was like, I can keep expecting him to be a certain way, and then I keep getting disappointed, and it's like, and then I get hurt, and then I push him away, and then I don't want to have anything to do with him. Or I can look at the situation realistically and say, okay, you know, this is what he has capacity for, and you know, is that okay? Is that alright? Is that enough for me? And to kind of almost let go of what I needed out of the relationship. So that was something that I wish I had learned early on, in dealing with or living with my dad with bipolar. I wish I had learned early on that expectations, you know, in these types of relationships can cause a lot of heartache, unnecessary heartache, and taking those expectations away and looking at the person maybe more compassionately and less selfishly. It was really freeing for me to approach the relationship in a different way. So instead now of having these unfair expectations of him, I'm able to support him and love him in a way that he needs, and that's beneficial for both of us. I've always enjoyed challenging myself. It started with running and short runs, and it, you know, grew to longer runs, and started with racing bicycles and on the road, and then just now to backpacking far. And so I had this idea. I've been planning a trip to ride to my dad up in the Northern Cape. It's about 500 k's from home. A couple months ago he phoned me. He said no, he's getting married again. And he wants me to come up and just, you know, be a part of the wedding. So the idea was to ride to him through the Tankwa. And it just so happened that his wedding was going to be on Valentine's Day in February, which is also the hottest month of the year in the Tankwa. Adventuring for me has always been an escape and just a way to recalibrate my mental health in a way. So when I'm in the city for weeks on end, I get, you know, anxious, and there's all the, you know, the stresses and stuff that comes with being in a busy city. So being able to get out, even just for a night or two on the bike, it's a way for me to kind of get out, process everything, and then, you know, come back and have a clear head, a clear heart, and to be able to tackle life.
Tiptoes on the bedroom floor, these quiet eyes are spinning in the dark. A secret wish that none will know, she keeps it locked up in her pale heart. Wait for it, it's tired and it's true. Wait for it, it's all she ever knew. She dreams in blue. She dreams in blue. Wait for it, it's all she ever knew. The background hum of city streets and whispers from the neighbors intertwine. The distant glow of beacon lights breaking through the cracks between the